And then he did this video about Nicki Minaj. Can't be sure, but squinting, I feel like someone in his production used ChatGPT. It feels different. Bob in this video feels different. And if you ever try to write a script with ChatGPT, which I regretfully have done, okay, Bob the Drag Queen made a video essay style type of video. The thing about Bob the Drag Queen is that there is a raw talent there that is undeniable. There's a trailblazing quality to him, even when he went on his season of Drag Race. That was impressive to see, very impressive to see. There's this confidence about him, there is this fight and bite about him, saying what he means. All of that with his own talents of drag queen makes him an excellent communicator. It makes him an excellent entertainer. Also, he has a very good social issues awareness, and he knows who he's talking to, he knows what he believes in, and that is very rare to see. We see a lot of the same ilk of entertainers that obviously don't believe in anything other than, being famous. But Bob has, I think, an excellent sense of self and an excellent sense of what he believes in. And then he did this video about Nicki Minaj. Community is shocked about Nicki Minaj. I'm very old, so I don't know much about Nicki Minaj, but I know enough to know that everything about her was very gay coded. And
this is the GGT, this is the girls, the gays, and the theys. All right.
But when Bob does a video about Nicki Minaj, it seems, allegedly, I can't be sure, but squinting, I feel like someone in his production used ChatGPT. And the ChatGPT of it all becomes shocking. First of all, there's a lot of these, not this, but that.
She wasn't just an artist, she was like an avatar. She was not just successful, baby, she was protected. Not just confusion, it is a transformation. It was not just unavoidable, she was untouchable.
And which people can talk like that, but most of his comparisons of not X but Y end up being a little bit empty. They sound good, but they don't push the idea forward enough, in my view. It's all aesthetics, but not enough grounding, because ChatGPT does not believe in anything. But Bob does. So when we see Bob reading from a script that seems allegedly to be ChatGPT, we feel the difference. It feels different. Bob in this video feels different. Nothing against Bob. We're just talking about this video in particular. I didn't know much about Nicki Minaj, and when I watched the video, I ended up not knowing much more than I already knew. And then I sent to a good friend of mine, very big Nicki Minaj fan. He said, yeah, the video has no bite. There's not a new angle. There's not anything here that actually, honestly, that is warranted a video. It really looks like a shallow video. Just to illustrate this point, I'm gonna put the intro from Bob the Drag Queen and the Swiftologist who did a video on the same topic. I think it's very clear that the Swiftologist has an angle. It shows his personality, it shows his sensibilities. Therefore, the video is textured. It looks like it's made by a human, a specific human. And you can look at the Bob the Drag Queen one, and it looks like very generic. It could be said by anybody, and that's the main problem. This script could be said by anybody.
This is the story about how one of the most influential rappers of the 21st century moved from pop culture dominance and queer adoration into grievance politics, internet antagonism, and cultural isolation. This is the magnification of Nicki Minaj.
Now let's look at the Swiftologist that has excellent writing. He not only paints a picture, he gives us details. We can almost feel like we were there, but he also starts telling the story. He tells us what the expectations were and tells us how those expectations were not met. It's a great beginning of whatever story he is about to tell.
Picture this. Fireworks, strobes, the opening chorus of super bass, blowing out the sound system like we're about to witness a headlining set at Coachella. The crowd roars. And then Nicki Minaj totters out, dressed in red and business casual, weaved down to her knees, but otherwise buttoned up and proper. She sits down in a white armchair, knees crossed, microphone in hand, like she's about to moderate a corporate panel on workplace culture in the age of AI. The music cuts and you notice the Fox Live graphic and a demonic entity, Erica Kirk, grinning at her.
Another thing in this video is there's a moment where there's a bit of a psychoanalyzing the fans of Nicki Minaj, and they talk about the stages of grief. And I've seen a lot of media using the stages of grief, and I've never seen such a shallow example of this. It's almost like there was nothing that characterized the Bob's behavior specific to those stages of grief.
You guys are going through grief. This is truly grief. Denial. The relationship that you thought you had with Nicki Minaj, you're grieving what she represented. Then you start bargaining. So obviously you're gonna start bargaining with yourself and with people around you. 3, anger. Now you're mad. Because again, we're not just when people criticize Nicki Minaj, it doesn't feel like a criticism of her. It feels like a criticism of every moment in your life that is connected to Nicki Minaj.
This shows another problem that happens with ChatGPT, which is it loses the main point of the video. The video is called the magnification of Nicki Minaj, and then ends up talking about the fans. Probably a pet peeve of mine and probably not important, but the video is trying to explain how Nicki Minaj gets into MAGA, but then ends up talking about what is the fans' reaction. And I feel like the fans of Nicki Minaj are their own subject. That it wouldn't be the same video, it would be 2 different angles on the video. But ChatGPT does this thing where it loses its own main point. If you're going to talk about a group, apply the stages of grief framework, you need to say that there's something specific about their behavior that characterized them as Bob, or there's no point in saying, if you're just going to say that they were angry first, bargaining and anger, whatever the order is, but then you say nothing about their behavior that characterizes it, there's no point in using it. And this is a ChatGPT problem, that even the comparisons that it tends to make are shallow. They're logically correct, but they obviously don't come from a place of belief. Then we can obviously see that Bob is reading, nothing against that. We can see that at points, Bob comes off of the script and puts a little bit of himself. That's always great because everything just comes alive for a second.
In 2008, and I looked up and every single magazine had either Lady Gaga or Nicki Minaj on it. And I mean, except Home and Garden. I think there was some white lady holding the plant. Repeat. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Not the second puberty. Do y'all remember this song? Well, we can't play the song, but we can show the video. Maybe. I don't know. Nicki seems litigious these days. She might sue the fuck out of me.
So you can see what a presence he is. Or she. I don't know. I think I've seen he somewhere. Anyway, and after this, I've started to squint at every single video that I've seen. And more, I start to say, oh, shoot, this was written with ChatGPT. Which I guess, but you can now really feel a lot of creators just being flattened. And this is the major problem with using ChatGPT. It's not that it's not your ideas going through a filter, but it's that it flattens what you actually have to say. It flattens because ChatGPT doesn't know your core values. So you would use certain words, you would use certain expressions to, on the subtext, kind of give away your values, give away who you are. And ChatGPT could never. No matter how good he knows me or Bob or any other person. I feel like there's gonna really be a problem moving forward in using ChatGPT for script writing because it's noticeable. But worse than noticeable is you can feel a disconnect between the person you like and the words are being said. And if you ever try to write a script with ChatGPT, which I regretfully have done, you'll see that once you are trying to say that script, it really feels like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm saying. Even though those are your ideas and your words. There's a flattening not only on the content, But there's a flattening on your own perception of your own ideas. It really closes your eyes to what your opinions are. I'm not a sanctimonious person. If you want to use AI, use AI. It's a tool, it's not going to go away. It makes sense for many things. AI is a great tool for organizing information. It's a great tool to summarize information. This is not an anti-AI video, much less an anti-Bob the Drag Queen video, but I feel like it's a cautionary tale on how we might lose ourselves if we don't understand what AI is for. And AI should not be for content, it should be just for organizing purposes. I'm pretty sure I'm dyslexic. It's great for spelling mistakes. I'm starting to suspect that I might have curls. Have a great day.